Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Albuquerque, first of all. For those of you who are visiting, how about a big round of applause for all our guests? My name's Augusta Myers, and I'm happy to be emceeing tonight. I want to welcome you to the 2019 National Senior Games presented by Humana. A huge thank you to our Cauldron sponsor, Haberlin Carter Life Plan Communities. Let's give them a round of applause as well. You know, this isn't typical Albuquerque weather, but I have to say, a little bit of rain kind of cooled things off. So we have the perfect evening and a very ambitious program and a wonderful week ahead of us. And I understand this is the largest group of senior Olympians that has ever taken place in these games. And you know, there's so many people to thank for having put this together and coming together, and we're so happy to have this in our city and welcome people from all over the place to beautiful New Mexico. And at this time, there's a special recognition for the person for whom the Athlete Village was named for. So at this time, I'd like to invite Mark T. Riker, the CEO of the National Senior Games Association, to the podium so he can tell you about that special recognition.
Welcome. It is so exciting to be here. This whole journey started many years ago, really many years ago. And I can remember Ernesto. I was in a meeting here in 2014 in the summer. It was the New Mexico Long-Term Aging Conference. And we had a meeting. And Ernesto was sharing with me all the great things that he did for New Mexico and for seniors. And for 45 years, he was dedicated to that, for volunteerism and service to his community. He changed the landscape here in the whole state of New Mexico for senior programming. And then in 1979, he started the New Mexico Senior Olympics with 165 athletes. Today, this next applause better be louder than that one. Now they're at over 3,000 athletes. And 1,516 of them qualified, and they're coming to nationals here in Albuquerque. They are obviously our largest contingent that will be here from our states. They are so fired up and so excited. But Ernesto was a very big part of that. They also called him then the godfather of the New Mexico Senior Olympics. But again, in 2014, I met Ernesto, and we were talking about what did he do and how he did develop everything here. And at one point, he leaned over to me and just whispered into my ear, and he said, "Wouldn't it be great to have the National Games in Albuquerque?" That was a dream for Ernesto, to have the games here. So we decided that we wanted to name it Villa Ernesto Ramos. And that's why it is Villa Ernesto Ramos for our Health and Wellness Expo in honor of Ernesto. I do want to again thank the Mayor, Keller. The city has been fantastic. The One Albuquerque theme you see all around is truly true. We have seen so many departments and agencies come together, 6,000 volunteers. I mean, it is truly a community that has come together to put these games on. It's monumental. And then to have the record number. So we thank also Visit Albuquerque. I want to thank our local organizing committee, Anna Sanchez, Anthony Romero. Fantastic job. But most important, too, is our volunteers. But, of course, you, the athletes, nearly 14,000 from every state. Unbelievable. This is the world's largest multi-sport senior championship event, and you are all part of it. So give yourself a great round of applause. And you inspire each and every one of us. And this community is so ready to embrace you. And I wish you a wonderful time here in Albuquerque. And thank you very much. I do want to then tell you how New Mexico wanted to celebrate. They were so excited about the games coming to Albuquerque. Cece Acosta, who's the executive director for the New Mexico Senior Olympics, wanted to celebrate the enthusiasm of these 1,500 athletes coming to Albuquerque, and they created a torch celebration throughout the state where they had 7 stops throughout the state over the last few months, getting ready for this moment here tonight. And I want to turn it over to Cece to then be able to recognize where they had those host cities for the torch celebrations. Thank you, Cece.
Thank you, Mark. On behalf of the New Mexico Senior Olympics Board of Directors, we want to say thank you to our 21 sanctioned local game sites throughout the state that help us promote our games year-round and health promotion. In 2016, we partnered with the City of Albuquerque. The Board of Directors truly got behind this mission to bring the games to New Mexico. And we took this to heart. At the 2018 games, over 2,800 New Mexico athletes were qualified through individual sports and team sports, qualified for these 2019 games. And our mission was to energize New Mexico athletes and remind them to get registered. And from that, we established the statewide torch run. And it was a fantastic run of the state. We enlisted 7 communities to kick this off. We started in Silver City in January. That was 590 miles away from our state office. And in February, we went into the town of Mesilla and Las Cruces. And in March, we took the torch to Mescalero. You can see here, it was a fantastic event. And then we went into Roswell. And in April, we tapped the torch in Santa Fe. In May, we were in the town of Bernalillo. Sandoval County Senior Programs opened their picnic and welcomed the torch. And in Farmington, thank you, City of Farmington. We had a fantastic event. So tonight we have a small thank you to our 7 communities, a torch plaque to our communities. We'd like to thank Silver City, Beverly Woods, to accept a thank you to Silver City, Copper Country Local Games, thank you. Town of Mesilla, Steve Duran, please take this to Mayor Nora Barraza, thank you, Town of Mesilla. And Las Cruces, President Paul Federhoff, if you're in the audience, please come on up. We have a thank you to the City of Las Cruces. Michaeline, Adhidley, Mescalero Apache Elderly Senior Programs, they did a fantastic job with our statewide torch run. In Roswell, Strata Productions made it happen. Sylvia Flores will make sure that our thank you goes on to Strata Productions. Denise King, Sandoval County Senior Programs, this is our thank you. They had over 300 folks at the statewide torch run in Sandoval County. And then we went up northwest to Farmington. Jack Lowry, Four Corners Senior Games Local Game Coordinator, we have a thank you for you. And San Juan College Foundation, Gail Dean, made our last leg successful for our statewide torch. And we couldn't have done it without these communities. Please accept our thank you, everyone. It was a fantastic event, and we were successful. We have over 1,500 New Mexico athletes registered for these games. We were successful with our statewide torch run. Thank you.
All right, now the moment we've been waiting for. And Cecilia, thank you so much, and also Mark Riker for your enthusiasm. Let's give them a big round of applause for doing all that they've done to bring this wonderful event to Albuquerque. Talk about putting Albuquerque on the map. This is amazing. And now we're going to get to witness the flame being brought right here to Civic Plaza. So it's starting on the New Mexico Rail Runner Express. And let me tell you a little bit about the person carrying the torch on the Rail Runner today. Her name is Esther Felipe, and she is an amazing woman. She's a runner, and she's been running for years and years, and she's now 89 years old, and she's going to be competing in this year's games in the 5K, the 10K, the 1,500 meters, and the 800 meters, as well as the 1,500 meter power walk and 5K power walk. I'm tired just saying that, and she's 89. She's going to do all this. I'm kind of wondering when we're probably going to see video of her bringing that in pretty soon, but it's going to arrive at the Transit Center just a few blocks from here at First and Central, aboard the Rail Runner at the Alvarado Transit Center. Esther will be carrying that flame. She'll be representing the New Mexico Senior Olympics, and she is from Acoma Pueblo, which is located just west of Albuquerque. For all of those of you who are visiting Albuquerque, I hope you get some time to enjoy what we have here in central New Mexico and check out places like Acoma and all the wonderful cuisine and food and sights to see here in New Mexico. Esther hails from Acoma Pueblo, as I said. It is home to the most beautiful, amazing, spectacular Sky City. She started running, as I said, years ago, but she didn't start until the age of 57, and she ran her way to the 2011 title for the Senior Games in the 10,000 meters at the Houston Games. So Esther, even at 89, is going to be a force to be reckoned with. So let's give her a round of applause. All right, here comes the Rail Runner. So we should see Esther getting off the Rail Runner here soon, holding the flame. She is one of our dear, dear senior Olympians, and I've actually had the opportunity to witness Esther in many foot races here in New Mexico. She always comes out, she always has a smile on her face. There she is, Esther Felipe. 89 years old, ready to compete. Esther is affectionately called the train runner. All right, now, Esther just passed the torch to the next leg of the torch run, which it's gone to Philip Jiang. The flame has arrived at the Transit Center. She's given it to Philip. Philip lives in Las Cruces, New Mexico, with his wife, Wendy Weir, and he holds a doctorate in engineering from New Mexico State University. He's retired from the U.S. Army. I heard that little shout out to New Mexico State. Let's hear it from those Aggies. All right. Philip retired from the U.S. Army Research Labs after a distinguished 36-year career as a research scientist. He holds a machine learning patent that protects our radar systems and earned a civilian medal for his work to defeat roadside bombs. Philip is a National Senior Games champion and record holder in 3 events, the 50, 100, and 200 backstroke events in 3 age groups. Some of his records have lasted for 15 years. Let's give a round of applause to Philip as he carries the torch towards 2nd Street. All right, he's heading towards 2nd Street with the torch. He will pass it off to the next person. There he goes. Philip Jiang even has a police escort. This is better than the real Olympics, don't you think? It's like Albuquerque style. I love this. All right, he's just a little ways from 2nd Street where he will hand it off to the next person taking that torch. There you go, Freddie. Freddie Chavez on the keyboard tonight. with some music for us. All right, now, as you see, Philip is now handing it to Jean York. She accepts the torch from Philip, and Jean is representing Humana, the presenting sponsor for the National Senior Games. As a 70-year-old senior, much of Jean's time is filled with volunteering for community events at local churches and the Bosque Farms Community Center. To keep active throughout her life, she enjoys running, hiking 14,000-foot mountains in Colorado. Uh-oh. Pause for a relight. A little breezy out there. Let's wait till they get this up and going again. Okay, Philip. Gotta go find Jean. Here we go. You are watching it live in downtown Albuquerque as the torch makes its way here to Civic Plaza for the start of the National Games. All right, there's Jean York. Go, Jean. There she goes. All right. As I mentioned, to keep active throughout her life, Jean enjoys running, hiking 14,000-foot mountains in Colorado, and going to the gym regularly. Her favorite activity of all time is dancing, and she recently participated in the local Valencia County Senior Olympics dance competition in the cha-cha, the waltz, cumbia, and choreographed line dance to bluegrass music. Let's give Jean York, as she brings the torch toward 3rd Street, a big round of applause. There she goes. She doesn't have too far to go. She's going to 3rd and gold. And there she goes, passing it off to a local New Mexico athlete, Colleen Burns. Listen to this. Colleen says, "I want to live till I'm too old to die young." All right, Colleen. Senior Olympics will get you there. And I have no idea when I'll be old, she says. She is competing in swimming and track and field. Colleen is from McIntosh, New Mexico, which is primarily a farming and ranching community. She is proud to be competing in her 10th National Games on home soil. The games will be very competitive, and she's hoping to defend at least one gold medal performance. Having the games in New Mexico was a longtime dream of New Mexico Games founder, as you heard Mark Riker say, Ernesto Ramos. And Colleen hopes everyone can feel his spirit and smile. Her greatest wish is for our visitors to love New Mexico, have fun, experience our unique culture, and leave with some awesome memories. All right, now you see, taking the torch from Colleen was Preston Green, a resident of Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Let's give Preston a round of applause. Listen to this. Preston's cheering section includes his wife of 20 years, Nicole, his 2 beautiful girls. Preston is no stranger to running, as you can catch him on the UNM track where he'll be competing in the 50 meters, 100 meters, and the 200-meter races. He swept those titles at the recent New Mexico Games held here in Albuquerque. And in addition to running, Preston enjoys a good game of chess. Let's give a round of applause to Preston as he hands it off to... Is that our very own Albuquerque Mayor, Tim Keller? All right. Mayor Keller and the City of Albuquerque are thrilled to be welcoming the 2019 National Senior Games to the Duke City. Well, he's not quite eligible to compete at the Senior Games yet. Mayor Keller is an avid athlete. Since taking office, he's been seen playing quarterback for the Duke City Gladiators, Albuquerque's local indoor football team, racing alongside relay teams from the police department, fire and rescue, and parks and recreation. And pretty soon you're going to see him enter Civic Plaza as he heads this way with the torch. He was named one of America's fittest mayors by Health Fitness Revolution, and he encourages the record-breaking 14,000 athletes and everyone who has traveled to Albuquerque to cheer them on for this unique experience of culture in our city. Please give a round of applause to Mayor Tim Keller as he brings the torch right here onto Civic Plaza. And now he has handed it off to the torchbearer, Brad Winter, a native of the Duke City. Counselor Winter has been pole vaulting since the age of 10, and now he is 66 years old, and he's out to capitalize on the 2 gold medals he won at the New Mexico Senior Olympics. Let's give Brad Winter a round of applause. He's a Highland High School graduate here in Albuquerque. Counselor Winter won the 1970 Boys Track and Field State Championship with a 14-foot vault. He won the 1971 NJCAA National Championship at New Mexico Junior College in Hobbs, and he also set the 1971 NGCAA pole vault record at 16 feet 9 inches at the University of Oklahoma in 1973. He won the Big 8 Conference Championship, clearing 17 feet and achieving All-American status. Once again, a big round of applause to Counselor Winter. All right, let's play the national anthem. Everybody please, gentlemen, remove your caps. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? All right, the senior games have begun. Thank you to India Archer for that lovely rendition of the national anthem, and for the National Guard for their wonderful presentation of colors. What a wonderful presentation. At this time, I'd like to invite the Honorable Mayor of Albuquerque, Tim Keller, to say a few words to our crowd today. Doesn't even look like he broke a sweat.
All right, well, good evening, Albuquerque. Good evening, Senior Games. I gotta say, there's nothing like grabbing hold of the torch for the games. That was very, very special, and it's very, very special for our city to be hosting this. And I want to take a little bit of time just to express my gratitude to all the folks who've made this happen, and just share a few thoughts to all of our athletes and their families that are here. First, I want to welcome all our government officials from the state of New Mexico, our city councilors. Also, I believe Congresswoman Deb Haaland is around. That's right. Let's give all of them a round of applause. And of course, now that the flame has finally arrived, we've got a record-breaking games in store for you with 14,000 athletes. Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, of course, this wouldn't be possible without our tremendous sponsors. And so I do want to thank especially Haverland Carter Life Plan Communities for sponsoring our torch run, and of course Humana and all the different sponsors throughout the games. Let's thank them for making this possible. Now, we also know that for us here in Albuquerque to welcome you, we've been working on this for 2 years. It has been a huge effort along with the Senior Games national staff, and I want to especially acknowledge a few folks who are literally responsible for all the games and all the events and all the surrounding activities. I want to start with the COO of our city, Lawrence Rael. Lawrence, give us a wave. I know I saw him in the audience there. And also the director of our Senior Affairs Department, Anna Sanchez. That's right. And our sort of czar of the Senior Games, Anthony Romero. Anthony, thank you so much as well. Now, there is a huge team behind the games, and I want to thank them all, but I know our out-of-town visitors want to get to competing and get to celebrating, so I just also want to extend a heartfelt thanks to everyone. We have about a third of the city mobilized of city government for the Senior Games. I want to thank each and every one of them, and you will see them at every venue along with 6,000 plus volunteers. So let's put it together for all the volunteers and all the staff. Now, just one more piece of thanks that I do want to extend to those who traveled the least far to get here. Our New Mexico participants, let's hear from you. Let's give a good shout out from the land of enchantment. Go for the gold. And now for us as a city, it is so special to share with you these games, to share with you that concept and that spirit of competition. Whether you're an individual or you're a family member, let's not forget that the games are a fun, competitive activity. And they celebrate a lot. They celebrate that inner spirit, that will to win, that will to reach for the gold. That in and of itself is something that is core to who we are, and it's something that we should celebrate in every aspect of our life, even if it's not just the Senior Games. For all of us, it's about finding the strength to try and push ourselves a little bit further. And it's also about respecting and cherishing our own health. It's about the fact that we believe with the right lifestyle and with the right support services, we can all live wonderful, active lives right here in our community or in communities across America. That's right. And so give yourselves a round of applause for honoring that commitment to yourself and to your community and to your family. And so lastly, I also want to acknowledge the opportunity for our entire city. We have roughly about 1 million folks in the metro area that you're all going to be interacting with, and you are in for a special treat if you're in from out of town. This is one of the most unique places in America. We have a history that reflects a deep crossroads of multiple cultures that are still alive and well, and it's something we are very, very proud of. And so we are thrilled to have you here in our city, in the 505, in the Albuquerque, in the Burque. You're going to hear all of that as you're here. And we also want you to enjoy all our restaurants and to enjoy our breweries and enjoy the great food and the scenery. And we also want you to actually come and move here. Welcome to Albuquerque, and let the games begin.
And we would love you to come and move here. Mayor Keller is right. It's great to have everyone here, and we're just thrilled that we're able to host these this year. So with that, I'd like to ask Kate Amack, the National Senior Games Association Chair, Board of Directors, and she's going to come up here today. She's already competed in the Power Walk event, so maybe she'll tell us how she did.
Welcome to the land of enchantment. Thank you to the City of Albuquerque and everybody that has put together numerous hours to put this all together. You are going to have a spectacular couple of weeks. So excited, and all of you are so inspirational. The Senior Games movement shows what a person of age can do, and you guys are that example, and you need to continue that. I'm so excited to be here, and yes, this was my first competition, even though I've been involved with the games at the local level since 1981, but I did compete today in the 1500 Power Walk, and I'll do the 5K. I didn't finish last. So that's good in my age group. So welcome, enjoy yourselves. Please, if you see me, please stop and say hello. I'm very excited, and I'm from the neighboring state of Colorado. Thank you, good luck, and go athletes.
Thank you, Kate. And you know, we mentioned this a lot, but it's worth mentioning again. We could not do this without the support of our sponsor, Humana. And so at this time, I'd like to bring Mark Iorio, Humana's VP of Medicare Regional President, Senior Markets, up to the podium to say a few words.
Yeah, good job. Well, good evening. What a wonderful event. So exciting to be here, and on behalf of Humana, I'm here to honor and welcome everyone to the 2019 National Senior Games. Congratulations to all the athletes for qualifying for the Games. You have prepared for this moment for the past 2 years, and I'm so delighted to celebrate with you this evening. Your accomplishments are an inspiration to us all. We're thrilled to have a record 13,712 athletes competing here this year. It's a remarkable achievement on behalf of all of you, and a wonderful thing to be able to celebrate. As a leading health and well-being company, Humana's mission is to help people toward active, lifelong well-being. That's our passion, and we couldn't have a better illustration of that here at the Games. We do this by partnering with like-minded people. I think we found like-minded people, health-inspired people, organizations like the National Senior Games organization to partner with and share our values, and those who want to make a real difference improving the health of our communities. I'd like to extend a sincere gratitude to our partners at the National Senior Games Association and for allowing us to be a part of this life-changing event. Year after year, since 2007, together we continue to celebrate active aging at every stage of the health journey. I would also like to thank the City of Albuquerque for being such an exceptional host to the Games. There couldn't be a more perfect setting to celebrate the athletes and all the friends and family who have come from across the country to support their loved ones. Finally, I'd like to thank all the volunteers who are here to support the athletes and their families. This includes more than 50 Humana employees who you'll see at the Athletes Village, the softball field, the track and field meets. Take a moment to say thank you to the volunteers because, as you know, we couldn't host this event without all the volunteers. Active aging goes well beyond Active aging goes well beyond physical health, whether you're an athlete or a supporter. Your participation here at the Games exercises your mental and emotional health as well. The Games provide so many opportunities to meet new people, to keep in touch with old friends. One of my favorite things about the Games is seeing all the special bonds and witnessing friends reuniting with one another after 2 years being apart. The competition is off to a great start. Humana wants to wish everyone well, the very best over the next several days and for years to come. Thank you so much for coming.
Is she going to speak next, or is it my turn to come out here?
I have to compete with her. Do you realize
yes,
this?
Yes, you do. Hi, darling. Let me have a big southern hug from you. I had a list that there were 3 people before me to come out here and speak. Our mayor and 2 other people. I'm so sorry I interrupted your grand entrance. Give her a round of applause and I'll exit.
And you'll be seeing more of that lovely lady in just a moment. I want to thank Mark Iorio again from Humana. And we do have, Humana is our premier sponsor. We have some other sponsors that we really want to give a big thank you to right now. These are people and companies and agencies that have all helped put on these games, and it's the reason we're here tonight. So bear with me while I name a few more sponsors. Zibrio, 5-Star Senior Living, Growing Boulder, Haverland Carter Life Plan Communities, Presbyterian, New Mexico Gas Company, Hyatt Regency Albuquerque, UNM Health Sciences Center, Comcast, PNM, 2 Men in a Truck, New Mexico Railrunner Express, AT&T, Wells Fargo, and many, many more. And at this time, I think you're in for a really big treat. It is a program called, you just saw a little snippet of what it's going to be about. It's a program called Noche de Fuego, Night of Fire. And Noche de Fuego is an exciting production that celebrates the rich, ever-evolving, and absolutely unique and diverse history of New Mexico through dance, music, and song. This performance will lead you through the Native American era, the Spanish era, the Mexican era, the territorial era, all the way up to the contemporary set. So please sit back and relax and enjoy Noche de Fuego.
Well, 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 well. Olympians, how are you? Woo! Who is the oldest torchbearer that was here tonight? Esther, are you here? Esther. Where is she? I was going to greet her. I'm 187 years old, so I thought you should meet me and compare me to some of the other Olympians. I am so delighted to be here. I am Susan Shelby McGoffin, the first Anglo woman into New Mexico in 1846. I came in the year of 1846, 47, and 48 during the Great Mexican-American War with my husband Samuel, who was a veteran Santa Fe Trail trader. And we came down the trail of Santa Fe and then into this part of the world, following the trail all the way down to Chihuahua, Mexico, the old Camino Real itself. And for those of you that don't know much about New Mexico, the old Camino Real trail is right over here on 4th Street. It is the oldest trail in North America. There you go. Woo! Well, because I was the first lady of the Santa Fe Trail, I think it is appropriate that I put on a little crown to remind you, if you will, that I was the first. And I paved the way for all of you women that are sitting out there or standing, as the case may be. I paved the way for all of you. And now you'll remember that. And I also brought the first bathtub into New Mexico. So give me a round of applause. Yes. Well, so there we go. Anyway, I also got to meet a wonderful man who was the chief of Sandia Pueblo. Chief of Sandia Pueblo. He came into my little casita there in Santa Fe. He sat down and he didn't talk very much to me, and I did my knitting in front of him, and we had the most wonderful time together. And I was working on my husband's sweater. 170 years ago, this is about as far as I've gotten with his sweater. I don't know about you ladies, But to me, it takes a brain surgeon to learn to knit. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. Well, because I was the first Anglo woman and I met an Indian for the first time, he invited my husband and me all the way over to Sandia Pueblo, not to gamble. I'm a Presbyterian. I don't gamble and I don't drink. But we went over to Sandia Pueblo and he said, I want to give you grapes and watermelon when you come through, and I want you to meet my family. And that's exactly what we did. So, of course, I met the first Native Americans in this part of the world, and their music and dance is like no other music and dance in the world. Their centuries-old stories have been passed down from generation to generation, from their children on down to the next generation. And tonight, I have something so special for you. Are you ready? Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, these are international Native American performers that are going to be on this stage the minute I exit. And they are from Zuni Pueblo, and that's where we get our sun symbol for our state flag. So now, with no more ado, I will present to you the beautiful Shelley Morning Song and Fabian Fontanelle. Woo!
Out of the ashes they came, out of darkness and shadow, into the light of new day. Creator breathed life into them, the sting of breath and new eyes. They opened their mouths for the first time. The first spoken words realized, and they call themselves the people of the flesh. Out of the ashes and into life, out of darkness and into the light, out of the ashes and into life, into life. Out of the ashes and into life, out of darkness and into the light, out of the ashes and into life, into life, into life, into life. Thank you.
Fantástico. Bienvenidos, señores y señoras, bienvenidos. Yo soy Doña María Gertrudis Barcelo. I was the greatest gambling hall queen in all of the Republic of Mexico. My fame, she spread as far east as St. Louis and as far west as California, the land of the fruit and nuts. Can you imagine? I was the major society lady of Santa Fe at one time at my gambling hall, and they said I was the power behind the throne of the last Mexican governor in this part of the world. But it all began with the Spanish when they came up this Rio Grande Valley on their horses. The conquistadors in 1600s, they came up the valley and they took over and they brought their own traditions their own dance, their own culture to our part of the world. And some of the traditions were Moorish, because right before Christopher Columbus came to America, the Moors had reigned for 800 years before they were finally conquered. But then, when the Spanish came into this part of the world, they brought the Moorish arch and those little tiny hovels that look like dog houses at the pueblos that you see. Those are not dog houses, those are ovens. Yes, see. They are ovens. So that is the Hispanic culture that we have today, and that magical fusion of the Moors and the Arabs and the Spanish can be seen tonight in the next beautiful dances that will be performed by the ballet. En Fuego dancers, please greet them with applause. Gracias. fantastic. Did you enjoy them? Oh, I love the Spanish dancing. It's so exciting. Oh, I tell you. Well, my dear friends, I lived in Nuevo Mexico under 3 flags. 3. I was born under the flag of Hispania, lived under the flag of the Republic of Mexico, and saw the flag of Los Estados Unidos fly for the first time in this part of the world. And they say it is because of me, Doña Tules Barcelo, that the flag is here and the Americanos came in without any bloodshed. Because one night in my gambling hall, in the back card gaming room, James McGoffin, a trader, was at one side of the table, and on the other side of the table was Don Manuel Armijo, the last Mexican governor of this part of the world. And they say there was a lot of negotiation between the two of them, and under the table, from McGoffin to Armijo, went $30,000 worth of gold. Suddenly, they say that the American Army of the West came in, no bloodshed, no problemas. And they came into Santa Fe and they raised the flag of the United States for the first time in 1846. So you see, that Mexican era was very short, but very, very important. From 1821 to 1846, before the Americanos came in, they were bringing in new musical instruments, like the marimba, for instance, and all kinds of other music and dance. And so, with Mike Anaya on his beautiful marimba, and the Ballet and Fuego dancers, and the Las Ballerinas de Oro dancers, we will give you now the Mexican experience you will never, ever, ever forget. you're beautiful, you're beautiful. Don't you just love them? Aren't they pretty? Oh, my goodness. I wish I was wearing a dress like that. Oh, she looks so pretty. Oh, my goodness. Well, at any rate, aren't they just marvelous? Are you having a good time tonight? Well, you know, when I first came here in 1846 with the Army of the West, it was under Stephen Watts Kearny. He was a colonel, and he became a general because of what he did in this part of the world, I'm telling you. And my husband brought all of those wagons into this part of the world with all the goods that everyone in New Mexico was sure hoping they could have, because we were like a traveling Walmart store. That's what we were like. We were. And me, well, what do you think I brought into this part of the world? Can you imagine what? Culture, fashion, high fashion from back east. Now, I'm going to get serious with y'all right here. You know, the Spanish women are very beautiful. And the way they dressed, though, however, was rather disturbing to me as a Presbyterian. Most people don't realize I'm Presbyterian. We dress and act a little differently. The Spanish women wore their skirts. I will not demonstrate, but they were very, very, very short. And then, oh yes, they exposed their elbows to a very distressing degree, which I see the front row is doing here very nicely. Oh my goodness. Well, I never exposed my elbows or my feet or anything else. And then the worst of it was this. The ladies wore these little low-cut chemise tops, you know, and they flirted with all the Army of the West and all the traders. Well, when I was up in Santa Fe, that La Tulis that was out here, that gambling hall queen, when she was up there in Santa Fe at the ball at the La Fonda, they say she took a great big bow in front of the Army of the West and the traders, and I got my first look-see at El Paso del Norte. You think I'm kidding? It's true. I wrote it in the book. I wrote it in my diary. Oh, yes, I did. Well, it was a wonderful time to come in history. And of course, because of everything that happened in this part of the world, we have the flag of the United States flying over this part of the world. And I saw it fly for the first time on that plaza, 1846, August the 18th. And we doubled the size of the United States, and it all began right here. Amazing. Right here. So with that said, when I look at that flag, I think, my goodness, you became a territory in 1850. So that's what we're going to focus on now, is the beautiful music and the wonderful dance of the territorial period. Oh my goodness, Lenore Armijo is going to be on this stage with the Ballet and Fuego dancers and Los Bailadores dancers, Los Bailadores de Oro dancers. So please give them a round of applause and thank you so much.
Por la lejana montaña va cabalgando un jinete, vaga solito en el mundo y va deseando la muerte. Lleva en el pecho una herida, va con su alma destrozada, quisiera perder la vida y reunirse con su amada. La quería más que a su vida y la perdió para siempre. Por eso lleva una herida, por eso busca la muerte. Con su guitarra cantando se pasa noches enteras de guitarra llorando a la luz de las estrellas. Después se pierde la noche y aunque la noche es muy bella, él va pidiéndole a Dios que se lo lleve con ella. La quería más que a su vida y la perdió para siempre. Por eso lleva una herida, por eso busca la muerte. Ay, ay, ay. El mundo estará muy lleno de amores y de querencias, pero pa' mí hay uno solo que da luz a mi existencia. Mi amor es rete bonito, radiante como un lucero, y las tristezas de mi alma da al negro con su recuerdo. Doy gracias a mi Diosito por lo bueno que es conmigo, que siempre oí mis plegarias a todo lo que le pido. Amor bonito, bonito, cariño, mi cariñito. Amor bonito, bonito, cariño, mi cariñito. Te quiero porque te quiero, porque eres mi amor bonito. Mi amor es rete bonito, radiante como una estrella, y pensando en tu cariño se acaban todas mis penas. Doy gracias a mi Diosito por lo bueno que es conmigo, que siempre oí mis plegarias a todo lo que le pido. Amor bonito, bonito, cariño, mi cariñito.
I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande. My cheeks ain't rouged, and I can't find a cow. Oh my goodness, how are all of you Olympians out there tonight? Oh, well. I am Ethel Mertz or Vivian Vance from I Love Lucy. Many years ago, I came from this beautiful hometown of Albuquerque, and I love Albuquerque so much. Do you remember I Love Lucy and my husband, Fred Mertz? And Lucy and Ricky? Oh, such great shows, weren't they? My husband, Mr. Tightwad. Oh, my. Well, when I was a young girl, I came to Albuquerque in my teens, and my father had a grocery store here, and I started out at the Chemo Theater and the Albuquerque Little Theater, and I ended up in New York City on Broadway, and then out to California doing movies and television, but I always came back again and again and again because I loved New Mexico and everything she stood for. Just imagine what you've seen tonight. Can you imagine the Native Americans, the Spanish, the Mexicans, oh my goodness, and yes, even the Americans coming in. We are a crossroads of culture in this part of the world. We are unique among all the states in the Southwest. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. And now we get to share it with you. Oh, you've been such a marvelous audience. Well, my dear friends, I am going to turn the show over right now to our wonderful director, Francis Lujan, who's going to have some fun with you on this stage and with all of you in the audience. Enjoy our fabulous director, Miss Lujan. Bye-bye.
Hello, 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 and welcome. On behalf of Noche de Fuego, and the dancers and everyone who worked so hard to put this all together for you all. And of course, you all are the ones who made it happen. Now, you've been sitting a long time, I know, and most of you, if not all of you out there, are athletes and you're used to moving. Well, now in our contemporary set, there's going to be 2 numbers, and the first is going to be a rock and roll, a 50s rock and roll. So your dancers are going to be going out there. You can either dance with one another, or you can dance with one of them. And then the second number is going to be a cumbia. And that's what I'm going to teach you all to do now, okay? So there's going to be 2 numbers with audience participation. Neither one dictates how you dance to it. I'm just going to, we're just going to have a little audience engagement right now. The cumbia is a 3 count. And it's step out, 1, 2, 3, out, 1, 2, 3, out, 1, 2, 3, out. And if you don't have a partner, your hands don't go any lower than your waist area. And your hips are supposed to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, males and females. That's the thing about Latin dance, is that the movement of the hip area is considered beautiful, because that's the part in the female, of course, that gives life. And so the hips are always exaggerated, and they're always incorporated into our dances, okay, when we do Latin dances. And tonight, the Latin dance you're going to see is, again, a cumbia. So if you'd like to stand and we can try it, because they're all getting ready backstage to come out and dance with you. And that's going to be great. That's going to be great. Okay, we're going to go over the step, okay? Now I'm going to turn my back to you so that you can follow me. Gentlemen, you're going to step with your right. You step with your right and extend with your left. That is a must in Latin dance. Men always step with the right, extend with the left, or always begin the dance that way. Ladies, you will step with your left and extend your right. Otherwise, you'd be kicking one another, right? Okay? So ready, we're going to try the step. My back will be towards you. I'm going to do the ladies part. Ready, and step, and 1, 2, 3, 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 and 1, 2, 3. Gentlemen, you're going to step with your right and extend your left first. Ready, and step, and 1, 2, 3, 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 and that's a cumbia. The second number that you're going to see is part of our contemporary set. The dancers are already out there. Feel free to dance with them, and they don't just need one partner, all right? They'd be honored to dance with more than one, believe me. Okay, the gentlemen are here on this side of the floor, and they're in the white shirts. And ladies, of course, are in their costumes, and they're on this side. Okay? Now I think you're ready to hear some music. Get ready to do rock and roll. Okay, so those of you standing, I hope you can dance in your seat or move it out. You've got a lot of clear area. All right? So we're going to do a rock and roll number, Rocket 88, and then we're going to end the program with a cumbia. So now you're prepared. Ladies and gentlemen, Freddie, Sal, and David. Ready?
You women have heard the lobbies, you heard the noise they make. Let me introduce my Rocket 88. Left door says just one way. Everybody likes my Rocket 88. Baby, we'll ride in style, moving along. Oh, yeah. Now. Oh, 3.8 motor, baby, it's modern design. Black convertible top and the girls don't mind. Boarding with me, riding all around town with joy. Play that cell, come on, man. Up in my rocket, baby, don't be late. We pulling out about 8:30. Go around the corner, gonna buy a fifth. Everybody in my car's gonna take a little nip. Move on out, boozing and cruising along. All right now. En tu ausencia le enseñé el amor que le faltó. No quisiste su querer cuando se la acercó. Cuando le pagaste mal y marchaste sin razón, siempre aquí se quedará y cuidaré su corazón. Su cariño me dará a disfrutar su libertad. La noche se va en bailar, es un nuevo modo de amar. Es un modo de amar. Ahora es mío su querer, con cariño le enseñé. A dejarla fuiste cruel, pero déjame decirte, amigo, cuerpo y alma la gané. Y ya no importa que hablará, tu oportunidad pasó. No te quiere ver jamás. Apuntaste con su amor. Mi cariño que nada. A disfrutar su libertad. La noche se va en bailar. Es un modo de amar. Es un modo de amar. Es un modo de amar. Y bailar. Y bailar. Quiere disfrutar. Es un modo de amar. En su libertad. Es un modo de amar. Es un modo de amar. Es un modo de amar. Es un modo de amar.
Oh, what a wonderful audience you have been tonight. From all around the United States, you fabulous Olympians. I wish I could give you each and every one of you a great big hug to say thank you for coming to New Mexico. Oh, you're fabulous, just wonderful. Well, my friends, how long do you think it took us to become a state? 62 long years. Woo! 107 years ago, we were still a territory. So you are lucky to be here under the stars and stripes forever, I hope. We want you to have a wonderful time in New Mexico. We hope you got a little taste of what New Mexico's all about tonight. And we wish you, all of us, we wish you rousing success at the Olympics. We love you so much. God bless you. Vaya con Dios. And please, please give a round of applause one more time for our wonderful cast. Thank you. Thank you. Aren't they wonderful? And my name is Van Ann Moore, and yes, I'm a multiple personality person. I have a disorder. They keep hiring me. They think I'll figure it out eventually. Good night. Hasta la vista. Vaya con Dios y gracias, por favor. Woo!